The entire team at Emsolation want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We want to recognise that we are recording and telling our stories on the stolen land of our country's first storytellers. We wish to pay our respects to all Wurundjeri elders and ancestors, and to extend that respect to any First Nations peoples who listen to Emsolation. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples' continued connection to the land and waters of this country, and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. Always was, always will be.
Russiano and Michael Lucas. You're in Emsolation.
Hello there and welcome to a very special edition of Emsolation. Michael's anus is pursed. He doesn't know where this is going to go. My name is Russiano.
Clenched.
Clenched.
It's what
The
we
chair
like.
could go missing at any moment. My name is Russiano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodivergent magic and a podcaster. And Michael Lucas, my best friend since I was 11, award-winning screenwriter, is here with the star of his show, The Newsreader.
That's all I get?
Yeah. No, I'll be saying the same thing about Sam when he's opposite me as well. Don't worry. Award-winning actor.
Multi.
This is what it's been like for 3 seasons.
I can't wait. And my friend, not Michael's, Anna Torv, joining us.
Gosh, it took you a while to invite me.
Oh,
I know. It's my fault. She'll 100% say it's my fault. It's my fault.
Anna,
it's my fault.
I've seen your live show before I've been invited onto your goddamn podcast.
Listen, bitch.
Like, what is that about? I've had 5 shows out in the last... God.
Michael John Lucas, if you do not jump
I posed
in
with
now...
a flower backstage.
You did. You really did. You weren't saying this to me, though. You weren't telling me that. You weren't saying I want to come on your podcast.
I did.
Oh.
100 times. I also said I wanted to come and listen, and I just kept thinking...
Did you? I don't know.
Listen,
anyway.
I said to him, why are you keeping Anna and I apart? What is going on? He's like, oh, she hasn't brought it up. I'm like, just ask her. Like, I can't, but this makes me wild. If Sam Reid sits opposite me tomorrow and says the same thing. So help me. Look at me. Michael Lucas, you are taking control of this interview because this is your show too. Both shows, Newsreader and Emsolation. So I'm handing it over to you. Newsreader Season 3 is kicking off this week.
This Sunday, yes.
Yep, over to
February
you.
2nd, and it's our third and final
season.
It's coming to a grand crescendo. So if you want to see what happens to Helen and Dale, you just have to tune in. All 6 episodes all at once. But I want to just get to, we asked for questions and we've been blessed. They're just really delightful questions that have come through. So I feel like I just want to get stuck into them because I feel like...
Sure. Before then, Anna, what's it like working with Michael Lucas? Like, I have to work with Michael Lucas all the time. In terms of, as an actor, you work with a lot of writers, EPs, which he is both. How do you compare Michael to others?
Oh.
To be honest, and I'm going to answer seriously because I have so much love and respect for Michael as a writer and as a producer. And you don't get to work with a lot of writers and producers. And one of the things that kind of made the show so great, made us kind of like be able to be so free, is that Michael is ever present. He has like the understanding that best idea wins, which I think we all do. He's so not precious. And I think people think actors are, and I'm like, are you joking? Like, we have to go again and again and again because we get it wrong or someone wants something different. So when you're then, you know, working in this kind of like creative and collaborative space, you want to be with someone that you can get on the phone and have really verbose conversations, which we do, but it's always the work. And
that's what I will miss the most, actually, the conversations.
Yeah.
Also, because
What kind of conversations are happening there? Like, Anna, you're calling him and saying what?
I email a lot.
Yeah, she's a big fan of a late night email. I love it when I wake up in the morning. You know what she's not a fan of? Punctuation.
dash.
Between her and I, you must feel like you're getting contacted by serial killers a lot.
But you go home and you start to prep. And to be fair, like I and I think it was when we started Newsreader, I started prepping in a different way. And I think it's sort of like, I think to be honest, part of it was also we were moving so quickly and she was sort of so all over the place that you're not method, but you do end up a little bit infected by the energy of who you are being all day. And so then I'd go home and I'd start to prep the scenes, and I'm pretty across it. Like I always look at the show. I don't just look at my little bit. And then I'd have ideas or questions or can we not do this? And so then I would like just a total dump. And then I'd come in with like, what do you think? What do you think? Or then we'd talk. But we knew... And I think that's a personal thing too. Like there's always like, and it's in every job, it's not just the newsreader. I always have a scene that just bumps, that I just hate, that I just can't, I don't want to do it. And I just really hate it. And so each season there's been one of those, but they've turned out to be the best scenes.
But also,
because we've just gone and worked and then we'll do another draft. The poor actors opposite me, like they just have to deal with it. But we're always...
Oh, and Sam loves that too. It's generally Sam opposite you. But it's when something bumps like that, that's when you have the most interesting conversations about the character, because it's like, why did I think that this was truthful and you're not finding that at all? And then that's when you have the deepest, most complicated conversations.
But also because of, Michael and Emma and again, it's like not like that on all shows, but because we're always all there, like predominantly we're kind of like there most days, and you then also, like a jigsaw puzzle, things change, and so then you'll find something different on the day that you then go, that's not going to work now when we come, 2 weeks later to the scene that's going to come after, because you can't hit it so many times, or we should hold it and shove it there. So it's like really has been a bit of a movable feast, but not in a disrespectful way.
No, because TV writing is always like, there's always a team, and you're always like, you have a room and you're asking for the best idea, and it's not like you then freeze it and then they just have to replicate it exactly. You want to like keep the conversation going, and that was very much the case on this. And every single season I felt like there has been this big emotional moment that's been identified early on, and we know this is the big moment. And so the calibration of the steps to get there, and then what that moment is, just the hours upon hours, the emails, the conversations, sitting there at lunch trying to figure it out.
But that's my joy.
Yeah, totally.
And if you don't, if you're not going to do that, and then you are. I mean, I used to have a friend who used to get the giggles, doing network television, going, I'll bring in the meat puppets. And I'm like, then you do feel like just a meat puppet if you don't get to have that kind of, input. And it's not, it's just creative input, but also the space to kind of play and make it better. And
also, because so much of her story, apart from all the professional side and everything like that, there's a mental health sort of journey in her arc. Particularly, this is true in the third season. And we're also kind of a bit of research nerds. Like, we love a bit of reading. We love a bit of experts. Like, in this season, it legitimately... Like, we basically had therapy together. We had sessions with a therapist that was a specialist in everything, and it was just... it was so riveting. Like, you're learning so much as well.
But how much can we talk about the show?
No, well, I won't want to say. I won't want to say anything much more than that.
I was going to say something, but I just don't want to. Well, I just want to talk, but I'm not going to if you don't. Well, if we do another.
Yeah.
If you invite me for a long one, then we can dissect it.
Yeah,
because I have quite a few things that I'd like to talk about with all of that. Stuff. Because it was a real. That was fun.
It was a really obviously substantial story, and could have gone a number of ways.
But the way that where we took it, I am so deeply proud of, because it's so simple, and that's the point.
Are we referring to?
We can't
talk about it, but we'll return. We'll return.
But are we referring to a diagnosis? That's not giving too much away.
Well, I'll say, because it's in the trailer, she definitely goes into therapy.
Okay, great.
But what I won't say, like, we've just watched.
Okay.
But but I will say that
Just stop talking.
No. Because Emma's already said this. I'll just say that there was one particular, like, the emotional crescendo of all of that was probably, that was the most exciting, fun, hard but amazing nights filming we've ever done. And I'll talk about it more when it goes to air, but it is amazing. What Anna does, and Sam and Emma, the director, it's pretty incredible. And we all knew it at the time, don't you think?
Yeah, I
Like,
think
we
you
all,
always
like,
do.
There was so much stress leading up to it, and then first take.
I
Anyway,
love it.
sorry.
Good. Don't apologize. This is your podcast also. We can edit anything out you don't want going to air.
That's true.
Remember that?
That's true.
Oh, yeah, so do
You can
wanna
always
talk?
say.
No, whatever. I just don't know what we can what we
No,
can
we
tease
want to.
and what we can't
Yeah,
tease.
we want to tease. We want to tease.
Okay.
But that, I feel that's a good tease.
All right, good. Because I do know that particular storyline is going to elicit much conversation. Like, I'm
Yeah. But
anticipating
That's the
it.
thing that I've wanting. But that's the part that I want to talk about.
Yeah,
Is
totally.
that, like, I've had to keep this quiet
Yeah.
from season 1.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've been found it so fascinating, the response from journalists, like in reviews, the names, the hysterical, I just have found it fascinating going, yeah. And that's a really big part of the story.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our incredible listener questions. I just want to say, bem-vindo ao podcast Brasil. Obrigado por ouvir. We have a big Brazil fan base now because of you and Sam. They're listening in today.
Also, have you been to the Gold Coast recently?
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know.
You can't. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, well, I'm learning Portuguese just specifically for right now.
Just to come to the coast.
Yeah. Michael, do you want to pick the first question?
Can I just want to start with a really fun, stupid one.
Do it.
No, it's not stupid. I think it's delightful.
Yes.
And I'm really intrigued. So you know the game Snog, Marry, Avoid? Where you get 3 options and you have to pick one you choose to kiss, one you choose to marry, and one you choose to avoid.
It used to be killed, didn't it?
Yeah, yes. See, we're much gentler now, or are we? The world is turning. But so Snog,
I'm not
Marry.
gonna. To be honest, I'm not very good with this sort of
Okay,
stuff, and I'm not very good with top 5.
No, all right. Oh, I still want to
This
hear
is
it.
easy. You'll be fine. You can do this.
Snog, Marry, Avoid.
As Anna or Helen?
No, it's Anna.
Anna.
It's Anna. Yeah, it's got to be Anna. Dr. Wendy Carr, Olivia Dunham, Helen Norville.
Who's that from? Name the listener.
Snog, marry, or avoid.
So loaded.
It's so loaded. Look, a Snog Wendy for sure, because I just want to kind of like shake her up. I always just wanted to kind of like
She
shake
wants
her
it
up.
too.
Yeah.
She wants it.
Or Olivia never got a good, she never really had.
Really?
I don't think so. So
Oh.
let's go with Wendy.
Yeah.
And then,
Marry.
I mean, I'd marry Tess.
it's-
I don't know why Tess isn't in there.
Yeah, where's Tess?
the
Why isn't she there?
ultimate-
I was about to say she's a survivor, except obviously not entirely.
But
Yeah.
no, I'd marry Tess.
No, not entirely. Avoid. I don't know. Who would I avoid? Olivia. I think I'd probably avoid Olivia. I'm like, I just don't want to deal with the, conspiracy stuff.
So Helen is the marry.
So I'd probably marry Helen, but like
You would have an interesting life.
Well, it would be kind of similar to my own marriage. It probably wouldn't last very long.
I love you.
but I think there'd be great reunions.
not forever.
Along the way.
Nah.
Not like the old days where it was forever.
Nah, nothing's forever. That was from listener Cam. Thank you so much, darling. That was amazing. Okay, this is from Alex. Anna, which actor do you work with on The Newsreader Season 3 that has the most different style from you, and what have you learned from them?
Good question.
If I had to guess, my guess would be William. That you two would have very different styles.
Yes and no.
I wouldn't answer. I wouldn't say William.
Okay.
Because it's like really interesting. Yes and no. Because he's just I think he's an actor's actor. Like he's just so present. He's so in it. He's incredibly giving. And we've had some pretty full-on scenes together. And I'm like, there is just a net there, and an actor that you just feel so
I love that.
honestly safe with.
Yeah, I love
like
that.
that's one of my favourite scenes. That scene in when he takes Helen home in season 1, and that's like William. Like you don't have to really do anything except simply just be there with him, and he'll just help you, guide you all the way. So I actually don't think so.
So William plays Lindsay, that spends a lot of the show yelling at Helen, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So which actor do you have the least, the different style from?
Totally different style.
Well, Marg, in the sense that...
Yes, Marg, but we also we've never really had a full scene to get into. But Marg's quite, probably.
Marg... So as we've been talking about, it's a very sort of, we're alive to everything on the day, whereas Marg is much more sort of, an actress that's done plays and is sticking to the script. And in season 2, I remember there was a scene where it was like Helen at her most manic and emotional had to confront Marg and it was... This is why Emma is so talented, because she takes these two actors that are coming at the scene in a completely different way. Marg, who's, she's prepared what she's going to do and she's rehearsed, which works for the character because Evelyn is sort of so controlled and so careful and rigid. And then Helen, who is like firing on all cylinders and just out of control, and she manages to calibrate that beautifully. So I think that they're probably the two biggest poles that I can... imagine.
What have you learned from Marg, Anna? Anything?
I mean, I was nervous meeting her, to be fair, because she's, like a very familiar, actress to me. And, I couldn't believe it when she was... It's funny because you'd never lose that, You still, no matter what you do, you meet these people that you've worked and you get a bit blushy and quiet. And so we didn't really... And we didn't have... we didn't get that lots of time together. And to be honest, the most time we actually got to spend together was when we were shooting the Logies.
Episode 1 of this season, yes.
And so because we were all in the little, waiting room, like in this ballroom, whereas apart from that, we sort of like have very split, the occasional little bit.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I really got to spend some time with her.
I'm so excited about the
I
Logies.
love her.
Yeah, of course. I love her. But I just want to sidebar. You've mentioned the Logies recreation. The lengths I know Michael Lucas has gone to. Like I was party to it in the background.
Well, everyone.
But you were you were adamant going in that it was going to be, and also this was like Michael's obsession with TV. Back to when we were kids, it was weird how obsessed we were with TV as tiny people.
It's not healthy.
No, it's not healthy. But
why not? Look at you now.
I know, but you have that encyclopedic foundation of the 1989 Logies, which is weird, but also thank God. So we get that episode 1. Just talk us through, Michael. Can you say some of the behind the scenes stuff that you had to, for this episode, for the Logies episode?
Yeah, well, we recreate it in the sense that, and this was driven by the director, who it could have, we could have done some sort of small scale version of like something that looks a bit similar. But Emma, the director,
she said budget.
But also she said, I want to replicate it so exactly that we can cut between 1989, the Logies, and our recreation, and you won't, it'll be seamless. So we can have Kylie Minogue and Bert Newton and Ray Martin and Paddy Newton and all those people just interspersed with our fictional characters. And so we thankfully the ballroom where they hosted the 1989 Logies has not been renovated except for the carpet. It's the only thing. And so they the designer completely replicated the set. It was such a spectacle and
our friend Gypsy having to go and source the outfits.
That's right. They all make them. Anna's one was a custom. She did a lot of that. And Philippa Northeast, who plays Kay, is also in a custom one that Gypsy designed herself. I mean, it was exhausting for all of them, but you could see they loved it. They loved it. And to be honest, like I kind of overdosed on Logies, and it's unusual for one of our episodes to be not really focused on a big news event. I mean, there's Lockerbie in the first episode, but that's just the prologue. And first, like by the end, I was so sick of the Logies, and I'm like, have I made the right choice? Until we started screening the episode, and people just got so excited by it. Like when they're all pulling up and the red carpet's happening, and you see like Jackie McDonald and Norman Gunston, and then Sam Reid and Anna and everything. People just, I'm really thrilled that we did it now. It was ridiculous.
But that's also Emma Freeman, who's directed every single episode of The Newsreader, is really good at. And so, even when we were in the news studio, like there's a lot of Steadicam shots, there's a lot of in and out, there's a lot of choreography that goes in for both the actors and the camera ops, and she did then a lot of that at the Logies too. Like it was completely choreographed and thought out so that you could see when someone was turning, and then you could get the other bit, so that you kind of like can splice all of that stuff in. There was nothing left to chance.
Every season, Emma and Earl, her director of photography, have come in and they've wanted to like do something that will challenge everyone. So you come off the last season, you think, God, that almost killed us. And they always set like a special challenge that will just exhaust everyone. So, and the Logies was like, it was a week in that ballroom and just extras galore. But I'm thrilled we committed.
It's so great when nerds come together because magic happens. Doesn't it? I just live.
And it was.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like a collection of nerds.
Totally.
Totally.
It's the best kind. I don't know what you'd call that as a collective noun. I don't know.
We do need one. We do need one.
Do you want to ask the next listener question, fan question?
Yes. This is from Anna. I love your duo with Sam. You're both incredible together. What was your favourite scene to shoot with Sam, and why? It can be a scene from any season.
My favourite scene is when you tell him,
I'm going to be right next to you. I love you just the way you are.
And I think you improvised that line from memory.
Yes, she did. I can confirm.
This bit, it's funny. It's like, because the question is not necessarily what's my favourite scene of Sam and I, or of Helen and Dale. Like, what's my favourite scene that Sam and I did together?
Yeah.
Like the shooting of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, because we get the giggles a lot.
I love that.
But Emma's beautiful. She's always really beautiful, and she always has patience and time, and she always gets it done.
Yeah.
And it's like the night before we were about to go to for a Christmas break, I think, we're like literally we have, I think, maybe 15 minutes left in the house before it's like taillights, you got to get off the street.
Which is a desperate
Which
time.
is like, you've got to get off the street, and we're punch drunk. Like, we have been working nights at Helen's house, like we're just like whatever. And we're doing the scene where it's not even a great scene, but we're doing the scene where they've just come back from Darwin.
Yeah.
For the Lindy Chamberlain stuff. Yep. And they've checked the thing and they're going, yeah. And the scene, I don't even remember how it was written, but we were supposed to have a kiss or something in Sam, and we just couldn't. And then we had an intimacy who kept asking him, and Sam and I just could not. We're just on the floor, like, just like, ah. And when the two actors are on the floor, like, ah, and the crew's like,
yeah, we've got to get out of here.
Like, usually they're in on it, but they're just like, because it just went on. And then Emma finally comes out, and what does she say? She's like, there's nothing I can use. So what are you going to do? Because we have 10 minutes. And then we went, okay. And then we shut it. So it was just a stupid. I do remember that just being stupid. But there's been a lot.
Oh, there's been a lot. And there's an uncontrollable laughter. Sometimes Minister Button.
Yeah.
Oh, God. There was one time, it was for a random news story, and the thing is,
it's always late at night.
It wasn't even for the main, like, a big scene. It was for, we were just getting news stuff to play on the screens in the background.
Season 1 or season 2?
Season 2. I don't know that you'll even be able to identify it, but they just had to read a very serious news report about some sort of cabinet reshuffle or whatever. But the minister's name was Minister Button.
Which is not even funny.
It's not even funny. But for some reason...
Sam could not.
He just got the giggles, and then you said, I'll just read this one. But then you got the giggles, and it just went on. And I was sitting there going, this is not important. Let's just take it out. But you got it.
We
Professional.
Got it.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't even say. There's been so many. There's just been so many.
For me, unquestionably, it is in the third season.
Well,
and again, we'll be able to talk about it more. Oh, yeah, it's midway through the season, and it was just...
But I didn't say that because then I can't explain why.
No,
what
I
made
know.
it.
Yeah. We can...
It's the teasing.
No. Well...
I'm just going to say, because you can cut it out.
Yeah.
We've got... So it's something... Well, it's the thing that you don't get to do unless you've been working, number one, with... on the same character for a really long time. Number two, with people that you trust. Number three, with professionals that are going to be able to execute it. And number four, with a scene partner that will meet you.
Yeah.
And you just don't get it. So we knew that we wanted this scene, and it's kind of like it's Helen's big scene, like Helen's moment. And we just had it written in quite a few different places. It was
Oh, yeah.
It was sort of like,
it evolved constantly.
It was everywhere. It was sort of like all over the place. And we just
I was saying unhelpful things like, I think she could be feeling all of it at once. Like, what?
Yeah, but also it was like in therapy. It was then at work. It was like, this is the bit. There was all this stuff. And I had it in my, I had it in my head and I thought it was going to be in the therapy thing. But I'm like, I just wanted something where you could actually show like what we're talking about. Like to go, this is just a glimpse, this is actually what we're talking about, this is it. And then if you just do it once, it sits with people, then you don't have to keep doing it because it's not how it works. And then Emma, so last season we had done some, just like experimental filmmaking really, where it was like, we'll just send everyone else home, we'll roll the cameras and let's see where we're at. And that was like, the stuff it was fun. So then we come in, I've obviously gone home. I didn't send an email that night, but I've obviously gone home and had like a big mental dump think about it. Because what we were going to do was we were going to go, Helen's, had a really bad day at work and Dale comes over. And, I think Emma was like, well, maybe they'll listen to music or blah, blah, blah. And then, Sam and I were like, what do they do? Like, what would Helen and Dale seriously do at home? Like, what would they actually do at home? And then it's like, well, they wouldn't dance around to music. They'd just talk is what they would do. It's just sit and talk. And then we kind of like rejigged another thing. It was all calibrated.
I remember sitting in the backyard of Helen's home doing different drafts. We'd read them. We talked. It was like this day-long conversation leading up to it.
Are we talking about the same scene?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah. Episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we have big talk. So then I come in the morning and I'm like, I speak to Sam and I'm like, I think that it should be this. And I think, because if you're going to do like an imp, you kind of want to know where, or you want to know who's leading or what the responsible, or other it just be like, and then what? No. And so then Michael and I talked and you said something, there was a whole bunch of stuff that you said. We just talked about what is the feeling.
What's the core? Yeah.
Like what's the core? What is the feeling? Like what actually is the thing? And then and so then Emma's like, all right, well, why don't we just do it, shall we? And so it's night. So the camera crew light the room, light Helen's house. And then they put tape on the ground so that we as the actors know, and this is why you can't do this stuff unless it's people that,
you trust
are pros, but also that are technically get it. So actors had to stay on one side of the line. This is through the whole house.
And so we're talking improvisation, basically.
Stay on the side of the one line. So then because we've got two cameras going, so they don't catch themselves. These are camera operators. I mean, I can't even. And so then we just went to our spot. No one knew what we were going to do, including no one. We just didn't really know. I just wanted this. I just wanted to show the whole spin. And then they call action. And then we did like a 15-minute improvisation and 8 of it.
Sam comes into the room as Dale finds Helen and they went.
And we just did this random made up.
Yeah.
Based on a core kind of like, what are we doing? But it was,
a pure improvisation, but also it was kind of also the culmination of much the history of the characters, so much conversation. Like we talked and talked, and all of us were sharing like the most private things in our lives. Me in particular, I was sharing. And I remember Emma and I were stashed in a little corner, watching it all play out with the DOP, and it was just this incredible moment. And the take that you see in the show, it is episode 3, is the first take. And
I don't think you can do that more.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of it. It's like you work in different ways. So you can either work, and I do believe that. I think you either end up working from a completely, shoot from the hip. It's totally instinctual. And if you do a lot of work, sometimes it's tough to get to that place. Or I think they're the only two options. Or you work really, really, really hard on every single detail to the point where then you are totally free again. But if you end up doing half the work, I just think that you end up like just glitching because you don't know it well enough to let it go, but you know it too well to kind of like really just embrace it.
You're
and I
so
think
right. You're so right. I am the instinctual performer because I find the magic goes out of the words if I over prepare and I end up overthinking.
But if you prepare, which you do in theatre often, or like even, like Mindhunter, that was like, we would do so, that was prepared
completely different.
Completely to the bit. And it's like, it's a very different vibe and very different feeling. But I don't think one's better than the other. And I think you can flip between. But yeah.
That's credit to you as an actor, my darling. I mean, let's not minimise your skill and talent. It sounds like you were in total flow with Sam, which is like falling in love.
We always were.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We were from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And the joke is, and I actually said, I think I said that to Michelle. I had lunch with Michelle last week.
Lynn Davidson,
Nolene.
Is that Sam and I, Nolene, is that Sam and I we really just got each other, but we have never had a dinner or a drink or we just nothing social. So
but that's very you and him in
you
real
live in
life.
different states, to be clear.
No, but I was going to say there was something, and I was thinking about it. I was really thinking about it because I feel like there's something to that because in a way, we really, not that we don't talk, and it's not method because we don't stay in character on set, but we always met in this place.
Yeah, you're maintaining the integrity.
We never brought.
Yeah,
there was never anything else brought into it.
No, I love it.
And it was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it makes total sense to me. You're never muddying the waters. It's
weirdly, but it wasn't conscious.
No, of course not.
It just kind of was.
But also, I don't see people outside of work, and I mean, where do you don't?
I don't
think Sam.
else.
We're all workaholics, so I feel like it works. It's natural. It's good.
Exactly.
Speaking of this question, I liked. This was from Nadira. I've got my answer straight away. I wonder if we all have the same person. Anna, if you were arrested, and Michael, who would you call from the newsreader cast and crew to bail you out?
Oh, Nolene.
Nolene.
Oh, I thought you meant the real people or the characters.
The character.
Oh, yeah, Nolene. Oh. Absolute no question.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, we all said it. Yeah. She gets an exciting season 3. I've already seen the promo of her holding a baby bump.
She does, yes. There's a lot of big life events for everyone, but particularly for her.
My favourite scene, Michael and I also, I got really mad. My favourite scene between you and Nolene, and one I defended ferociously, and it's one of my all-time favourite TV scenes, is when she comes to you for advice. And you say to her,
I'd recommend investing in a suit and stop dressing like a schoolgirl. You're a producer now, Nolene. Be assertive and stand your ground.
And the way you attacked it, I was such a ferocious defender of it. And then I heard you on the Newsreader podcast, and I'd listened to Lee and Lisa. Was it Lee and Lisa?
Yeah, that's right.
Talking about, I think Helen's, I love those two women. They're my friends, all respect. But I really disagreed with their take on it. And it's just how you would have done it. You were actually doing her a favour. That is of the time. That's what would have fucking happened. And I've never got to say to you, even though we speak, and thank you for the way you did that scene, because it was electrifying.
Well, Michael wrote it, but it's that. But she starts off and she's like, okay. She's like, well, there'll be gossip. Can you handle that? Yes, he's worth it. Great. And you do it. And it's, thank you. I appreciate it. That was that was Helen's most deadpan scene, I think, ever.
Fucking great. This is why it appealed to me so much. I love when you go into Helen voice. I'm obsessed with Helen voice. I do Helen voice to the kids every now and then. Okay, we're now going to go to bed, and then we'll see what happens in the morning.
For your poor children, I'm so sorry.
Did you work on
But
Helen
what cracked
voice?
me-
Did you work on it heaps? Did you watch lots of Yana? How did you get it?
I did. I went and did
got
sessions
lessons.
with a lady. I got lessons.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Give me a
yeah.
lesson. Give me a quick lesson. What did you do? Tell me.
Well, look, to be honest, what happened is they offered, and I just can't believe that everybody didn't just eat it up. It was just that was the best research. So I
Yes,
said...
it's true.
not
It
everyone
divided
wanted
the
to.
cast, but you loved it.
I loved it, but it was auto cue. Because I'd said to Michael and I'd said to Emma, I'm like, okay, so we're doing all of this auto cue. Let's go and have a look. So we go and learn how to read the auto cue. And the woman who was doing the auto cue was from the 80s newsroom. And so not only did we get along, but the gossip that she told me was just fantastic. It was also understanding, and I've said this in so many interviews, I didn't get, even talking to her, I didn't get that Helen was a journalist until I did.
Yeah.
The auto cue.
Yeah.
But also then the way that you do it is completely based on the auto cue and what you can see in front of you. And if it's not there,
Yeah.
you must be a little bit weird in your phrasing.
Oh my God.
Back then they had
That
really
was-
crusty old ones, not like a computerized auto cue. So it was staccato, stop-start, which is
so
chords.
great. But it's like then you immediately get into it. So I loved it. And then I went back. I think I went back and back. And no one else wanted to, but I went back. I just loved it. And then, and then went in.
Oh, well, thank
The
God.
newsreader. Did you think I was going to be able to do the new? What were you expecting?
Oh, no,
when
he
you
knew.
thought,
No, he
like,
knew.
No,
were you wanting everyone to do the real? Like, what did you
Yeah.
think when you
Yes,
first
he
saw
did.
people on the desk?
Oh, yeah. No, I want it. But, it was very easy in a weird
Were
way.
you nervous that wasn't going to work?
What, with people being on the desk? No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, particularly with you, it's strange, but you know how you intuitively look at everyone's work, previous work, which is a silly thing to do really, but just to see. And with you, because Wendy Carr was so... I sort of thought, I can see her as a newsreader. So I was very confident. Also, you've got a voice. You've got golden tonsils or whatever they call the amazing.
I've got
Yeah.
no tonsils.
You'd be a great
No,
singer.
Thank you.
You
I
sing.
thought-
You would sing. Do you sing, Anna? Yes, you do.
I did when I was younger. I really wanted
can
to.
hear
It's the
it.
thing that I really would have liked to have done. And I was in a but I really don't have very good pitch. And I just
That's
I'm
absolutely not true.
I'm just
that's
not.
a lie.
But I really wanted to. Like I would have loved to have done that.
I can hear it in
But
your
I-
voice. You'd be very good. I'll make you do it next time we're together.
No, I'm not going to ever do that again. But I would have loved to have. Yeah.
Oh, God.
But don't people always say that? But
Whatever.
I say to my dear
Also-
friend Yanto.
This is horrific, but we've got time for one more.
Are you wrapping up
know,
your
I
own
know.
interview?
I'm sorry. No, I know.
Oh, you're the worst. All right. Well,
I
sorry.
said
I want to ask a question.
I'm going to dress up though
Yeah.
next time. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
No, you'll come-
I'm
we'll
going
do
to
it a
be
big
prepared
studio thing.
for.
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael, what do you... I wanted
Being
to
on
really...
screen.
I just really wanted to understand how you say goodbye to Helen after 3 seasons. She's so intense, integral. And when you say you're not method, I mean, part of you... When I love something, it becomes my personality. So
Yeah.
how do you say goodbye to Helen? I'm sad to ask you.
It's, you know what, it's easier when, like, this is a really strange analogy, but if there's a death in your life, it's obviously much better if you know it's happening and you can prepare for it and you can, and I feel like with Helen, because we knew it was coming, and so much of our conversations were, what does her story amount to? What does it leave? What does the audience walk away? Even though obviously I love her and I love Anna and I hope and assume, frankly, that we'll work together again. But there was a special magic with that character. But because we dedicated so much time to doing those moments justice, I feel like I sort of, the poignancy
Like
of
there's
it.
no regret.
Yeah, the's no regret.
I think that's
I'll play
the
that.
part. I
Anna,
think
how do you
sometimes
leave her
finish-
behind though, babes? Like, it's big.
You don't.
Oh, you make me cry.
You don't. It's like she'll be with me forever. You'll make me cry. Isn't that stupid? Like I actually
That's
will
stupid.
cry.
No,
now.
it's sad,
Because
yeah.
every character, because they're real, and it's like you look at that kind of, that book, The Body Keeps the Score, and not just in trauma but in joy. Is that like she opened, and even just in a physicality, like so she was my antidote to Wendy. So I did
From
Wendy
Mindhunter,
from
yeah.
Mindhunter. So I did Wendy, and then Helen was, she was what she was. But I think from a physical perspective, even I was like, if I cannot do it, I need to just get Wendy out of me. Like I just can't be that anymore. And so a lot of her, like that was all just, I always felt like she was a toddler, Helen, like I
Yes,
would just
absolutely.
harness a toddler, like everything's in, but then it's straight back on and give me a cuddle, it's all fine. But she's the learning when to, Wendy taught me how to hold, and I think, Helen taught me how to play your hand, and the next will teach me something else, and then you slowly, expand.
Oh, all right. Well, Newsreader Season 3, all of it will be out by the time this goes to air. Binge it all. Anna, you and I will have a sit down on the couch, Oprah style.
We
sans
will.
Michael Lucas.
And I'll look good, right? You look good.
Thanks. Oh, well, I've got all the things on. I've got 15 lights in here. It's fine. All right. You guys head out. Thank you so much. Chat soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Emsolation with Em Rusciano is recorded at Down the Hill Studios. hosted by Em Rossiano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley, produced by Em Rossiano. Edited by Ezekiel Fenn with videos by James Henderson. Socials by Benjamin Wasley, Em Rossiano and Marcello Rossiano Barrow, with assistance from Jim Evans and Isabella Hines. You'll find links to get more Emsolation on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. And thanks for listening. We can't wait to chat with you again soon.